Hello and welcome to another edition of Sutton Impact Family Style. Coming in a little bit late this week, I'm Jason.
I'm Bill, and I'll start us off with our sport business moment. I want to talk about that as this gambling thing keeps progressing and progressing and progressing. It's interesting to see where it's going. So I am following it now. I was reading about what they do in England when they passed this law in England probably 20, 30 years ago. And there's actually betting shops, where you can go to just a shop and just lay your money, just bet whatever you want to bet. And so I was trying to figure if I thought that would happen in the U.S. or not, and I'm not sure. But I definitely think there's going to be betting windows at sporting events. In fact, I was just with Phoenix Suns, and I was looking in the lobby, and I said, "Well, where are you going to put your, where are you going to put your betting windows?" And they were just laughing. I said, "Well, we won't be able to do it because in Arizona, the casinos have so much control over, the reservations have so much control over everything. So we'll have to see where that goes."
Well, the future's just an app on your...
They might be one of the very last states to be able to do it. And then this week in Delaware was the first state to allow wagering.
I mean, isn't the future just an app on your phone? You just go, you see everything, you bank...
But see, to me, the people that are getting bet on their phone, those are people that are serious about betting, right?
Right.
They know what they're doing. They're really into it. But look how many recreational bettors there could be at a basketball game or a football game or a baseball game. They're just going to walk up and it's like going to a horse race. Oh, let's go bet. I like purple. I like number 7. Let's go bet on it. And you're going to get a lot of that stuff. And I think people are underestimating that. I think that's going to be a pretty lucrative source.
It's true.
So I just don't think it's just going to be the app stuff. I think it's going to be people that are going to be interested in betting recreationally, just having more fun while they're at the event.
Yeah, it makes sense. I just figured, if you're already in your seat, you just got your app out, and it's like, what is Aaron Judge going to do with this at bat? You can throw $5 down that he's going to strike out or ground out to third. Or
yeah, you can do that. But I still think there's going to be a lot of people just walk up and there's going to be like goofy bets, like how long's the anthem going to be? Just goofy stuff. And people like that kind of stuff. So
right, but let's say you've got your phone out and, anytime an item on my wish list on Amazon comes on sale, I get the notification. And it's, I'm sitting in my seat, I've got my app out, all of a sudden it pops up, it's like, the anthem will be under, I don't know how long anthems are, 1 minute and 2 seconds. And then it's immediate, almost like Tinder. I'm like, swipe yes, I'm going to bet on that. Then I click my amount and I'm done. There's no thinking about it. There's no having to walk to the window and then get that second, do I want to put money on this? Do I not want to put money on this? It's just gone. In an instant, in a flash,
Yeah. It could be whatever.
Yeah. I mean, people love gambling in all forms. So.
Yes, they did.
So Game 3 is going on as we speak. And the Cavs, surprisingly, they jumped out to a big lead. I don't know what the game is at this particular moment.
It was 10 a couple minutes ago when I was watching it.
Okay.
Logically, this is the game. If they're going to win a game, this is going to be the game they win.
Yeah.
I mean, this is when they're going to put all their emotions in and just do whatever they can do to overwhelm them. It's the first night of the first home game. So we'll see.
I just didn't know if there would be any residual effects. I mean, obviously, Game 2, they had a lot of residual effects from Game 1. They came out flat. They looked horrible. But
I think Game 1 clinched it to me that there's no way LeBron stays in Cleveland.
No, you can't. Because, the 8th pick in the draft, who's that going to be? Trae Young? Michael Porter? You wanted a rookie. Because I don't know what the 8th pick is worth. I don't know if you can use the 8th pick to go get anybody, And who's even out there to go get?
It's a lottery pick, but it's not, it could turn out to be a great pick. But it could turn out to just be, whatever.
Yeah, I think, the weird trades that are out there that I've seen somewhat online is that, Toronto was obviously open for business. And, would they take, if you got rid of, is it Lowry? Yeah, Lowry's 32, I think. And he sort of has a history of sort of choking in the playoffs. But if you're Toronto and you could reset with DeRozan, a lottery pick, and everything else you have up there, you'd probably let him go for the 8th and some matching salaries, probably, expiring contracts.
Probably so.
But I can't think of like other players that are out there that you could go get right now with the 8th pick, and at most what? Because all you really have as an asset is kind of Kevin Love, but not really.
I just don't. I don't think the Cavs know what they're going to do. I think it's just you're going to have to sit. You're kind of paralyzed unless if he commits and tells you he's going to stay, then you start dealing pieces and seeing what you can do. If he's got to make up his mind, you're paralyzed. You can't do anything until you figure it out.
Yeah. And as we saw, I forget, I read about his contract today, and he can get that super max no matter where. He's got that clause where it doesn't matter where he signs. He gets that Chris Paul super max situation where his next contract he can get as much money as he wants. So he has no financial incentive to stay in Cleveland either. Besides,
No, but he's also going to think that if he sucks up a huge percentage of the salary cap, what does that mean he's going to be playing with?
Well, I mean,
like that. Like, remember, I originally said I thought he was going to go to the Lakers, and I don't think that anymore. And I don't think it anymore because I don't think he'd like to get his lips beat off several times a year by the Warriors and Houston. But now I saw today that they're speculating Kevin Durant could go be a Lakers. So who knows? I mean, it's all there's a lot of speculation. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
Right. Well, the other thing I would say right now, if you want an easier path to the championship, I honestly think it might be in the West right now. Because as good as the Warriors are, Draymond clearly isn't the same Draymond anymore. And you look at the way this Warriors team has played, they haven't looked like that dominant, fire-eating team anymore.
No.
And they've got 4 guys taking up their entire salary cap.
Let's talk about a real interesting scenario.
All right.
So you've been following the Brian Colangelo thing this week, right?
Bizarrely, it seems like he's somehow going to keep his job, and they're going to believe him in that situation.
That's interesting because I think it's tough to survive that.
I think whether he did one of those accounts is his. Like he's already admitted to that. And I believe you look at the analytics, and it sounds like it's the same person on all 3 of those accounts. So I just don't see
how.
how.
So let's play conspiracy theory.
Okay.
So let's say he leaves. The most logical replacement for him is David Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who built the Cavs.
Right.
Was the Suns before that, and he's sitting out there. He's got a really good relationship with LeBron. Now, if he was to get that job and help recruit LeBron, now you got LeBron as a Sixer. Now that makes sense to me.
Yeah, because Ben Simmons and Embiid are on rookie deals right now.
Yeah, I mean, you got all kind of cap room, and you got a lot of talent, and you just probably don't re-sign J.J. Redick.
Because you're paying JJ like $20 million a year this year, but he's only got a 1-year deal. Ilyasova's on a 1-year deal. Yeah, you could flip that. I know they say the knock on that, and you could probably take your first-round pick, a lottery pick, and if you want to get rid of him, I don't know what you think, what his value is in the league now, but you still have Fultz,
Yep.
Because maybe you could flip Fultz in a lottery pick for, a sign and trade of some other player. Now you got Embiid, Simmons, LeBron, and, presumably 2 shooters, because you got to have somebody that can actually make an open jump shot on that team. Because it's not going to be Ben Simmons.
You need that. So that's my conspiracy theory moment.
I think I would say LeBron's the greatest basketball player, whatever. He's in the top 3 up.
This is the worst team in my lifetime to ever make the NBA Finals.
And I know it worked with Houston with both Paul and, James Harden as 2 ball-dominant players. But you have young Ben Simmons developing his game, and he's great with the ball in his hands. And then you got LeBron James with the ball in his hands. So, can you make those 2 work? And I think in the regular season for sure, because, maybe LeBron doesn't have to play 8,000 minutes in a season or however many ridiculous minutes he's played this year.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, the other, because I feel like also, like I said, if you go to Philly, I think you're joining one of the dominant teams. But I think if you're looking at the next 10 years in the NBA, assuming people stay healthy, it's the Celtics and the Sixers are the teams I think you're really worried about. Because like I said, Houston's got Chris Paul at 30, coming back at 33. Are you going to commit the $200-something million to Chris Paul at 33 as undersized point guard. As great as he is, like that could bury your franchise. You know, you lose Capella in free agency. You bring back Chris Paul.
He's restricted, though. He's restricted.
Right, but if you're going to pay Paul and you've already got Harden on a super max, you know, and somebody out, you know, one of these teams like Phoenix or somebody with a lot of cap space offers Capella more than you can handle, you know, what do you do if you're the Rockets?
And that's another thing. I just got back from Phoenix. So Phoenix has two very nice pieces in place.
They do.
They're gonna get the number one pick. They have the number one pick, who will probably be the guy from Arizona.
Right.
And all of a sudden, and with all the cap room they have, they could attract a quality free agent. They could be the Minnesota of the summer of 18, like Minnesota was last year in 17. That can happen.
Definitely. I mean, it seems like obviously LeBron, we don't know what he's going to be. And then the other really big free agent is Paul George. As much as I love Russ and love Oklahoma City, I don't see him going back there. I know Houston is supposed to be really hot on the Paul George sweepstakes. I don't know where they're going to find the money for him, but apparently they want him really badly. He is a great second or third wheel. You know? I don't think you ever want Paul George being the best player on your team, but he can shoot, he plays defense, and he knows how to play basketball. So,
and Oklahoma City's going to be in bad shape because they get that $28 million millstone around their neck.
Yeah, speaking of that millstone, and we'll bring up a little bit of Instagram drama, did you see what Steven Adams did?
No.
There was a picture of Melo, Russ, Paul George, and Steven Adams, and it was like, who's the most valuable one? And underneath somebody put, clearly not Carmelo, and Steven Adams hearted it. Now, Steven Adams, and I can sort of relate to this as I have large hands myself, he claims that he accidentally hit the heart button with his large fingers.
Well, it's conspiracy theory weekend.
Conspiracy theory weekend. I mean, it's clear. Like, Carmelo's just done. I mean, some basketball players just can't play anymore. He doesn't have the legs. He's done. And again, like you said, he has no. He's not going to get $28 million for 2 years from anybody in the league, so he's not going anywhere. So you're stuck with him unless you buy him out.
And nobody's going to give $28 million to buy him out.
No.
But maybe they will. Who's to know? Who's to know? That would be one of the grossest things in the history of sports if you get paid him $28 million to leave you.
As bad as that trade ended up working out, if I remember correctly, they gave up like a bench guy and a second-round pick to bring him in.
Yep.
And I still think, you still, in the moment, you still make that trade. You hope that you get some form of Olympic Melo. You get your stretch four, and now you've got your big three, big four, and you still have to make that move. And I think
I agree. At the time, it was the right move, no doubt.
And I think even as well as Oladipo played, Oladipo's a ball dominant player like Russ. That's one of the reasons they didn't fit well together. And maybe you gave up Sabonis a little easier, but again, I think in the moment you make that trade. If you're Oklahoma City, like now everyone's like, but Oladipo's, second team All-NBA, first team All-NBA defense. Sabonis looks good, but I still think in hindsight you make the Paul George trade too.
Yeah, you did. Absolutely, you'd make that one. That was no brainer. You would have made that one anytime.
Yeah, even though it
just didn't gel, Jason. They just weren't that good of a team together. It just, I don't know, it just didn't gel. Sometimes that happens. You can have a lot of good players, and they don't make a good team.
No, it seemed like when they had Roberson healthy and Paul George got to guard their second player and their defense looked really well, and they beat Golden State and Houston a couple times before Roberson got hurt, which, it's sad that you think Andre Roberson made all the difference in the world, but it seemed like they were it was the same with New Orleans. Like, it seemed like right before Bogey got hurt, the team had really found its way. And then now they're in that weird position too. If you're New Orleans, I was actually talking to my friend at Whole Foods the other day, and he said it was blasphemous, but I sort of feel like if I'm New Orleans right now and I'm looking at what I have, I can't re-sign Boogie. I can't commit to that. And even though I have Davis locked up for 2 years and he's one of the greatest players of all time, I'm probably calling Boston this summer. And I'm seeing, can I get, those two? Can I get the pick this year? Or the pick next? Can I get the Memphis pick? Can I get the Lakers pick? Can I get another future first rounder? And then can I get a Jaylen Brown and a Terry Rozier or a Jason Tatum and a Terry Rozier? And just try and, restart my franchise so I'm not, 2 years from now, stuck with nothing. And I know you're never going to get value for Anthony Davis, clearly. And they're probably not going to give you Jason Tatum. But if I get Brown, Rozier, and the 2 unprotected firsts from Memphis and Sacramento, and then I get maybe 2 Boston first rounders, I'm getting 4 first rounders and 2 starters, I'm probably making that deal. And again, as someone who lives in New Orleans currently and wants to watch Anthony Davis play, I don't like that, but at the same time, if I'm them,
Yeah, if he's going to leave, he's going to leave. But you got to get what you can get. And if you still have a year's control and you get something good, go for it.
Because I don't see them getting anything in the next 2 years. Because they have no first round pick this year. The only free agent they could potentially get, and it doesn't sound like it based on, again, not to be social media speculative, but you look at who people follow and unfollow, and it sounds like Boogie feels like he's going to go somewhere else. So now again, you got your 2 guys. And if I'm Anthony Davis, in 2 years I'm 26, 27, and I'm looking at a team that's got basically no assets but me, I'm probably not staying.
No, you can't. You got to look out for your career.
Yeah.
Know what you're gonna do.
Well, I guess to finish up our NBA talk, I assume we both think that Golden State wins this series no matter what.
I think they win in 5.
In 5, yeah. I mean, their only hope is that Golden State seem to have been.
Although I hope there's a Game 6 because I'm invited to Game 6, and I'll go to Game 6. So I hope there's a Game 6.
Well, I think if you look at the way Golden State's played all year, including in the playoffs, especially that Houston series, they would go blow Houston out and then seemingly not show up for most of the next game for whatever reason.
Yep.
And I know Kerr commented on the fact, that disease of more and, did you bring in enough new hungry mouths this year or did you just bring back the same sort of people? And they're not a very deep team. And you got Clay on the high ankle sprain. I could see them stretching it to 6. Depends how angry.
They're going to win, though.
Yeah. It depends how angry LeBron is. A lot more talent.
How about hockey?
Like I said before, I'm, as much as Vegas is a nice story because they have a number of former Penguins, Ovechkin's been a player that I've just really, as much as I like to argue that Crosby is a far better player, and I still think he is, I want to see a player like Ovechkin get the cup, I should say, not the ring.
I think that team has really evolved after they beat the Penguins and got that jinx off their back and advanced to the second round. They have just played lights out.
They have, completely. Completely.
Completely lights out. There's 3 guys around the opposition's goalie at all times, and there's 3 guys protecting their goalie at all times. They're playing an amazing defense, and Ovechkin is just possessed.
Yeah. And, you look at them in the past, and, almost every series they lost to the Penguins, they were the better team. They were the favored team. They've been the favorites in the East, or the second favorites in the East a number of years, so it was just a matter of them finally breaking through.
Right.
And, like you said, they got the Penguins monkey off their back, and then now they're kind of cruising. And, again, I think, Vegas already said their team's getting a player parade no matter what happens, so not that they're happy to be there by any stretch, but...
Okay, they can do it in Las Vegas. They need a parade for whatever,
Yeah.
But I'm happy for some friends that work for Monumental Sports, which owns the Cap, so I'm happy for them, and I'm happy for Ovechkin.
And not to rain on the Capitals parade, but we do have a team that has lost a number of 3-1 series leads in this era with Ovechkin. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I just don't see it happening.
No, they need to win the next game. I think, though, I don't think they need that mentality because just based on how they've been mentally in the past with other teams, you don't want to see them all of a sudden they lose the next game and all of a sudden all the 3-1 Capital stories are out there and maybe they get shook. But you never know.
No, you never know.
We had the Major League Baseball draft. And I didn't see, socially speaking and consciously, did you see the kid who played for Oregon? Or Oregon State, I should say?
He did not get drafted.
He did not get drafted, which is good. I didn't know a lot about the case, but then when I read it,
He did not get drafted for the second year in a row. He's obviously one of the best players in the country.
Yeah. I don't see how I didn't know what the case was, and when I actually read the case, I was like, I don't see how you can bring this guy on your team. You just,
See, I feel that way, and at the same time, he's paid his dues.
He did. I know.
And so this is America. You get a second chance or not.
I want to say, again, I feel like I always say you deserve a second chance, and I want, much like the great Kim Kardashian, apparently I want, prison reform. If there's certain crimes that it's hard to look past. And anything that involves a child, it's always hard to be like, are you ever going to be a different, person?
No, I read a story, though, where he said he agreed to it just to get it resolved. He agreed to that plea bargain just because everybody was telling him it was a better thing to do than fighting it. If he fought, it was going to damage him. So who knows? I mean, this is one of those things that no matter what happened, he's damaged for the rest of his life.
It's true.
But I think it's unfair that he won't have a chance to try and have a living, doing something he's good at.
Yeah, because he's a great pitcher. He tops out over 97 on his fastball, so he's got more than enough skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never know how it's going to go off because, a couple of years ago, the Pirates had drafted Mark Appel.
Yeah.
Number 1. And he didn't sign. And he went back in the draft next year and signed with somebody else, and I just saw the other day he's already out of baseball.
I know, baseball's a weird one.
Pick in the draft, so figure it out.
Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah. Or he was a top 5 pick, and he just didn't make it. So you're always speculating in baseball. It's an 18-year-old kid, and it's a different game. I mean, you're playing with wood bats, and everything else is different. So
it's true, and even with technically, I mean, every year we have 1 or 2 busts, and you always talk about the greatest bust in the NBA draft, and the NBA one. They draft the fewest number of players from a big, large pool, and they still get those wrong half the time. So you just never know drafting anybody.
No, you don't know. You really don't know.
But to wrap up the NBA draft again, I do think Doncic is the best player in the draft. Let's leave it at that.
Okay.
I think I know they said the knock on him is they don't like his diet right now. But again, he's 18 years old. I'm sure he'll figure out, training and diet at some point. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But they said he's been a little bit pudgier this year, so a little too much fast food.
Well, the guy from Arizona is going to go number 1.
Who can't play defense at 7 feet tall. Yeah, that's a good call.
He's going to get number 1.
I know.
No doubt.
Well, I mean, you got Phoenix drafting a position of need, one of the top-rated players on the board, and he's a hometown person. So, I mean, it clicks all the boxes, as they say.
Yep, it does. I had an amazing breakfast yesterday.
Okay.
Listen to this. It was a Parmesan and asparagus and prosciutto omelet over something that you would love, and I'd never had it before. Parmesan toast. Yes.
I'm not going to pretend like I don't love Parmesan, so, I mean, that sounds right up my alley.
No, but Parmesan toast is like half of a Parmesan grilled cheese, I guess I'd call it. And the omelet and the asparagus and the prosciutto were all on top of that. It was amazing.
And where did you have this lovely dish?
I had it in Phoenix. I'm trying to remember the name of the restaurant. It started with a D. It's on my Twitter page, so
okay.
Check out the photo on the Twitter page, everybody. If you're in Phoenix, you got to go there. It was an amazing, amazing breakfast.
Very nice. Well,
did you have any meals?
I didn't have anything all that exciting. Nothing new anyway, because I've only been in places I've already been, so you've already heard about all my meals. But I did finish season 1 of Killing Eve, and it still maintains an incredibly high keep watching. I was a little nervous because, like I said, it was initially supposed to be just the 1 season. And when halfway through they picked it up for a 2nd season, I got a little bit nervous because they started opening up sort of a bigger picture, which I think the 2nd season is going to go to, but I was a little nervous how they were going to end the 1st season. But the 1st season ended well. I'm happy with where it ended, and I can see where it's going, and I'm pleased with that.
I watched the first episode of Code 100, and I really liked it, and then I didn't get to see it last night because I was working. And actually, my hotel didn't get WGN. But I liked Code 100 on WGN.
Yes.
And I finished reading Stephen King's The Outsider.
Very nice.
And I thought it was good. I didn't think it was great.
Is it a future Stephen King film? Is he really big right now when everybody wants to make his movies?
Jason, this had elements of other stories. It was just, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it was interesting. It followed it. It was great reading on an airplane. Okay, made a flight to Phoenix and back really, really good. So
And I guess sort of in that same genre, and because every flight I had and the last 4 flights I've taken has been delayed due to either weather or this time it was a paperwork issue.
Summertime, that's what happens.
Yeah, and the last one was paperwork. There was a dent in the wing and nobody apparently paperworked it, and that ended up being an hour on the runway. So I got to watch a lot of other TV, and I watched Safe on Netflix, the Harlan Coben show that I think you brought up.
Yep. Did you like it?
I did. I mean, like I said, I thought his British accent was pretty terrible, but it was like reading a good mystery novel. I thought it was pretty well done.
Very good story.
Very good story. Kept me, you know.
It had enough twists and turns.
Yeah.
And they were believable.
And they were believable. Like I said, this is about to say, I was like, it all tied together nicely. It was a very concise, tight Harlan Coben story, and I thought they did a really good job of putting it together.
10 episodes. Just the right amount of time.
And they're only like 39 to 42 minutes depending on each episode. So they're it's a nice, quite nice, tight mystery show that you can watch and bang out. And I noticed this has become, I think one of the issues that TV is having to deal with now is that I'm having, you know, it depends on what it is. Like if it's something like Killing Eve that I know the people that wrote it, I don't know them personally, but I'm a fan of their work, and I see all the reviews, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to jump into this now. But with a lot of other things, I'm always nervous. I'm like, all right, well, if I start this show, how much faith does the network have in this? You know, if it only has X number of viewers, and I get invested, then it's gone. Which is why I love the limited series like a Safe, where it's like, it's all over. Because I noticed with Netflix, like, if it's something... Yeah, if it's something I'm not sure, you know, it's 2 seasons in, and I know that people are like, well, is there going to be a 3rd season? Then I'm kind of hesitant to even start it. Because I want to become invested and then, you know, get deadwooded. Which may be coming back. So, that's also exciting.
You never know.
No.
All right, well, next week we can talk about, we'll have all our winners in place and we'll be getting ready for the draft picks.
Yes, we will. And it looks like the NFL... And we'll talk a little about the NFL controversy next week because we kind of skipped over that this week. But I'll give a special shout out to Malcolm Jenkins' press conference. Did you see it?
No, I did not see it.
He did not speak a word. He had a Sharpie with a bunch of signs. And he sort of put up statistics about, you know, African Americans shot in this country versus African by the police versus the percent of African American. You know, he talked about prison stats. He showed how much money guys like Colin Kaepernick, personal money they've donated. And, you know, I've really liked him a lot. Because, again, I don't know if I talked about this before, but last year, in the midst of all the police violence, rather than just come out against the police, he went on rides.
He went on a ride-along, yeah.
He went on a number of ride-alongs, and he sort of realized that, you know, it's not just the people in the car. It comes from the top down. I think I did talk about this, but it just, you know, he's become somebody I've just really grown to admire quite a bit as an athlete. For a non-Steeler, even though he's playing in Pennsylvania, so that's in the NFC, so it makes him kind of likable, I guess. Although they just won the Super Bowl, so. Yeah. But, yes. Thank you again to all our Patreon people. And, again, rate us, like us on iTunes. And we'll be coming to you probably next Sunday on time.
Yeah, we can do next Sunday. I'll be in Pittsburgh, and I will finally have attended 2 Pirate games by that time.
I see. Exciting. And we can tell if they're buyers or sellers next week.
Yes, and I'll talk about some good food next week.
I would assume so. So until next week, thank you. Keep listening, keep telling your friends, and all that good stuff.